I'm really thankful for things in our lives that don't quite make us perfect, so that we always have a reminder. I mean, we should have reminders all the time, but I'm very thankful that this thing on my finger, which is really annoying to try to do anything with, mainly because I forget about it. I'm so thankful that this has become a reminder instead of a hindrance. And it reminds me what really matters. Does it matter that I have full use of my finger? No. Would I like full use of my finger? Yes. But the point is to point yourself back to Jesus, and you can only go back to Jesus and hunger and thirst after him if we remember what really matters. And it took me 39 years to get to what really matters. Even with this church, I love this church. I love the way it is. I love what God started in you. I love how so many people are being set free and delivered and saved and baptized. Like, it's beautiful to me. I love that they're not feeling great about themselves, but they're starting to feel great about God. I love that. But it has to go back to God. It has to go back to what really matters. And what really matters is actually living for him in what pleases him and not us. And it doesn't take long to step out of that. And then you have to take your time and step back in, which often is challenging.
Yes.
And so I'm very thankful for the Word. I'm thankful for the Word is not just it's just not a history book.
I'm thankful that you know the difference.
I'm thankful I know the difference.
Because, like, just with your personality, I wasn't sure if you ever would. You know what I mean?
Because I have such a great personality.
Well, just because you're kind of casual about everything. You appear to be so casual about everything. So to me, it's just so beautiful how the Lord will do it and whoever wants him. Like for me, when you say that yesterday you had a little bit of a hard day or whatever, and then how easy it is to step out. Louisa just said that earlier. She was like, I can hardly believe how easy it is to step out and how easy it is to get back in. But it's so easy to step out and like kind of fake yourself out. But there's like a place that we should be every day. We should be in him and going deeper in him. And there's just like, you either are or you aren't. And I kept wondering, like, I didn't know if you would ever like really know the difference there, and like watching how the Lord, like, I didn't know if it was more like a woman thing or a certain personality. I'm really serious. But like that place of abiding, that place of rest is so real. And so to watch the Lord teach you something that is so hard to teach anyone. Like, I could never teach someone. I'm talking about it like I've decided, unless the Lord changes, unless the Lord shows me it's not his will, but I believe it is, the topic of every talk I give will be about rest. Because it's him. We rest in him because he's finished the work. That's where we rest. We're confident in him. But to watch a guy that played football, that just kind of jokes around all the time, that can get 20 things done in 20 seconds. It's amazing to watch him build in you. Him. Like forming him in you.
Because
sensitivity.
You can't do it.
No, I can't do it.
So, like, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about we
no one can
can't
do it, right.
But even... I'm not sure what the word is, but to live pure and blameless lives, you could waste your whole life trying to be pure and blameless.
Pure and blameless.
And the reason that rest is so important is because he is the only pure and he is the only blameless. And if you're not resting in him, you're not going to be pure and blameless or righteous or holy. It's going to be you trying to be good.
And then you're under a hex. Like in Galatians, I believe it's 3 or 4, like, who's put a hex on you? What was started in the spirit, you're going to finish it in the flesh? Please say that again. He's the only pure and he's the only blameless.
You just
I know, but say it again.
He's the only pure and he's the only blameless.
And if we're not in him, abiding in him, remaining in the vine, we're so foolish.
Well, and that's why I think watching you walk this out basically by yourself was confusing because you weren't working for any of it. And it made no sense to me because it wasn't your personality not to work. It wasn't your personality not to fight for it. You would have fought for God, but to watch you live not fighting when everybody else around you was fighting, and they were getting crumbs, and it felt like you were having a truck of His Spirit like backed up to our house and just unloaded, and you literally were doing nothing to get it except for resting. And so then I wonder how many people have been conned into thinking they're a believer, and not, I don't mean conned like on purpose, but conned by this method the church has, because I was one of those who was told I was a member, who was told I was a believer, who was told I was set free and saved. These people didn't know my life.
Jesus.
And I'm just thankful that like He wants us to know what really matters. And if we know what really matters, we better tell everybody else what matters. And like record deals and like really cool suits for church and like smoke machines and stuff. I'm really kind of against them. But like, it's what really matters is it's either Jesus or it's not. And I know that there's thousands upon thousands of levels, because He's limitless, of places that we can rest in Him and trust in Him. And I think with our governmental structure, I think we're going to have a chance to step into that a lot sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But it matters what really matters. And knowing that we can't do it, and not only can we not do it, but He's already done it. So if we can learn to rest in Him. And like, I think one more thing is watching you take comfort in just Him was confusing for me, because I thought like you had to like do something. You had to work, like not work in terms of works, but like you had to read your Bible. You had to go to church. Like you have to serve. You have to do all these things. You have to pray before you eat. And to watch you, not that you didn't do any of those things, but it was not at all about any of those things. To know that you can just love God and that you can be content sitting there with Him. Because I'm not the most content person. In that, like, I want to be doing stuff. Like, I always have something I want to do. I'm not discontent in life. I actually really enjoy life. I have a lot I'd like to do. But I'm not always content sometimes when I should just be just content. And so to know that that's a place that we can be, whether we're being hunted to be killed, or whether we're about to be thrown into jail, or whether there's a conference with 50,000 people there, it's still about Jesus. And if it's about Jesus, your rest should look exactly the same, whether you're about to be arrested or there.
And the rest, I just want to clarify for anyone watching, in case you have no idea, or in case you've forgotten, the rest is in the heart. Every bit of this is all heart. Everything real about you is your heart, your spirit. So you could be taking a nap and not resting. Or you can be very, very busy and at rest, because it's all heart position. It's if your heart is in full trust mode, you're in full rest mode. So it's not about just sitting on the porch reading your Bible. Now that's where you've got to be, not on the porch, but you've got to be in the Bible, because this is where you learn who He is and that you can trust Him. Otherwise, I mean, He's so beautiful to preserve this word for us, to make sure this word was preserved for us. And of course, His Spirit brings His word to life in our hearts. But this is where we find Him. I wrote on my notes earlier, I don't feel safe in what God will do for me, in me, or through me. I am safe in God. I am safe in God. I think the thing that changed for me the most, that changed everything for me, it was learning that God is actual, that he is here. He's right here with us. He's watching us. He's interested in what's happening. He longs for us to come closer. Learning that God had real feelings about me and has real feelings about how I really feel about the real him. That's what changed everything.